Today, I'm going to be talking about fate. Had this argument several times with people online. I've had to re-explain myself, which I hate doing. So I'm going to make a video so I can just link to the video. So the problem is, I don't consider Fate to be a role-playing game. I consider Fate to be a storytelling game. So I'm going to do this video to explain the difference, in my opinion, which you don't have to agree with. And you may agree with that at your want at custom. So let me start with a role-playing game, perhaps. I, personally, define a role-playing game as a game in which you play a role. So you're looking through the eyes of your character. You create your character like a mask. You put the mask on. That's it. You follow the 3 commandments. You make a character, you get in character, you stay in character. So you never break character. Every reaction you have is from that character's point of view. That's role-playing to me. So you're going through, you see a goblin, and you ask, what would your character do? How would he react to this goblin? Is he afraid of goblins? Does he hate goblins? If he's afraid of them, would he man up or would he run? If he hates them, would he attack? Or would he be able to have patience and wait stealthily to see what's going on? And you just go from there. You react to the world around you. Okay, every decision is driven by your character. Everything. And that's what role-playing is to me. And of course, there are reasons why I enjoy role-playing, which I've done in another video, the human condition, empathy, understanding, escapism, all that good stuff, immersion. But that's beside the point. The point today is, what is an RPG? That's what it is to me. Again, you can agree, you can disagree. That's your opinion. You're entitled to it. Now, what is Fate? What is a storytelling game, and why don't I consider it a role-playing game? So in Fate, you are looking on your character in the third person. You're looking down on it as if you had a mini on the table or moving it around. Your reactions don't come from behind the eyes of that character. Your reactions come as a storyteller. So you move around and you say, oh, what if this happened to that character? You might only have one character to deal with, but you're still acting as a narrator. You're saying, oh, he sees this character sees a goblin. And then instead of saying how would he react, you say, what would be most interesting for the story? Would it be more interesting to do stealth? Oh no, I don't like stealth. I don't like stealth. I like combat, so my character will attack. This character will attack. Not based on what the character would do, but based on what I would do. But based on what I want to see, want to experience. And that's basically what Fate is. And you can craft a very interesting story, a lot of twists and turns, but you have to make these decisions out of character. It's part of the rule set is that you have to do that. As you're going through, you have fate points. You have aspects to invoke. And I'm not an expert on Fate, but I have played it several times. I've got an argument several times about Fate. While I was playing it and without. So the GM can at certain times try to invoke one of your aspects. You say, oh, your character is vengeful, so you have to attack the goblins. And for me, when I'm playing, I'd say, that's out of character chatter, stop it, speak in character only. And second of all, don't tell me how to roleplay my character. I can roleplay my character. You don't worry about that. You worry about your characters. So that's one thing, is the GM can invoke things on you, which is out of character, so it breaks your immersion. So he's out of character, which even a GM should not be. And also, I find it tremendously annoying that anyone would try to tell me how to play my character. I mean, that's one thing, one rule aspect which backs up my claim here. The second thing is that in the use of fate points, you, as a player, can do things with your fate points your character cannot do. So you can be running down a hall. There's someone chasing you. You say, I spend a fate point so that I run past a weapons locker. So that's out of character. So it requires you to think out of character and be out of character, for one thing, which is already immersion breaking, but it also means you have to speak out of character to invoke it, which I find somewhat annoying. And it's something your character cannot do. It's not a decision made from his mind, but from behind his eyes. He's not running down the hall and saying, I create a weapons locker. You know, it's out of character. The rules say you have to do these things out of character, so you have to be constantly thinking out of character, thinking as a narrator. And that's pretty much like my whole argument, is the rules say he can tell me how to roleplay, which means he's speaking out of character. That's 2 strikes. And the rules also say that I can do things out of character, which is, you know, let's say it's only 1 more strike and you already got 3 strikes, and I'm not interested in fate. So that's my argument. That's why I don't consider it a role-playing game. It's a storytelling game, because you have to be out of character, and other people are encouraged to speak to you out of character. Both of those things, to me, are not role-playing games. They're not role-playing concepts. The actual role-playing is when you're in character. There was one other argument I'll mention, because it's come up several times. People have asked me or told me, oh, well, whenever you roll the dice, that's metagaming. You're out of character anyway. Which is true to some degree, but there are 2 kinds of metagaming. You know, there's the metagaming where you're able to think in character, and then one where you're able to think where you have to think out of character. So let me explain that in greater detail. So the GM, he's describing the world. He's my eyes. That's a meta concept, but all the information, I'm getting it in a meta way. I'm getting it. My character's not getting it in that way. But my reaction can still be in character, right? My reaction is based entirely on that character. How the information is coming in is meta. How he reacts, that's the important part, and that's in character. You can roleplay through that. And when I roll a dice for his attack roll, that's me, that's meta, but I'm reacting in character, right? So I never have to break character. I never have to think in a way other than what my character is thinking. You know, if the GM says you see a goblin, I can react in character. If I hit or miss with my dice roll, I react to hitting or missing in character. I don't ever have to stop and think about things as a narrator or storyteller, because that would be metagaming, and that's what Fate is. And what it's built upon is metagaming. So that second kind of metagaming is when you're not reacting in character. So I just wanted to say that, because that's the most frequent argument people bring up. They don't understand that there may be meta aspects, but the reaction is what's important, how you handle it. It's not how you get the information. Fail, succeed, goblin, no goblin. It's not how you get it. It's how you process it. If I can process it in character, it's all good. But if I have to step outside of the character and process it as a player and say, oh, it's best for the story. Oh, does a goblin have an aspect I can invoke against him? Oh, what if a fissure in the earth opened up and the goblin fell into it? I have to spend a fate point to do that. What if a tree falls on the goblin? I'll spend a fate point to do that. But none of that is in character. And being in character, to me, is role-playing as a role-playing game, so that's what I want to do with it. So that about covers it. That's the main argument. That's and those are my 2 definitions. You can agree or disagree in the comments below, but now I have a video to post instead of typing it out, because I hate typing things out more than once. So you can put down some arguments in the comments, and I'm open to my mind being changed. But you know, I've read the rule set. I've tried to play it several times. I've talked to a lot of people who tried to change my mind and try to explain things to me, but it always comes back to, am I in character? Or am I not in character? If the rules don't let me be in character, it just can't be a role-playing game. So that's all I have to say. And until I see you again, good day and good gaming.